haven't seen you guys in a while. I haven't sat down and talked to you guys like this. Last time I asked you guys for any requests on what characters you would like to see in my next video, and one of my favorite viewers out there named Andrew Monroe asked, can you make Gudetama next? The character is a lazy egg that just basically does not want to do anything. It lacks motivation and just waits for it to all end. I think it's a pretty relatable character. That's why it's so popular. They even have a whole cafe dedicated to this character. Li Xiaobao, Lu Xiaobao, or something. I don't speak Chinese, guys, despite how Chinese I live. Basically, this is a salted custard bun, which it has like a sweet and salty flavor for the filling, and it's salty because we're using duck eggs. Maybe not a lot of you are familiar with duck eggs. Duck eggs are just eggs that's been sitting in water and salt, obviously, and spices for about like 30 or more days until the flavors all soak into the egg. I don't know if you guys would want to go through all the trouble of waiting 90 days, but you could order these salted eggs off Amazon, but they're like 3 times the price on there, and I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. But if you live near maybe an Asian mart, they'll most likely have it, I think. It's usually near the fish section, I think, next to the balut, which is the embryo eggs, like where you cook little chickens alive that are still like in the fetus stage in an egg.
Start off by peeling 3 duck eggs and removing the yolk. We'll be only using the yolk and will not be using the whites of these eggs. Add into the blender the 3 egg yolks. It doesn't look like much now, but this is some pretty powerful stuff. A 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons of vanilla pudding mix, 1/4 cup of dry milk powder, a 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/4 cup of butter, and 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. Basically just the rest of the custard ingredients. Blend this together until it's smooth. I kind of made the mistake of using a blender size that was a little bit too big. I should have chosen a smaller one. Out came this beautiful yellow color. Remove it from the blender and add it into a bowl and just cover this and chill it until it's firm. I did chill it in the freezer so it'll chill a lot faster. You can make the filling a day ahead too. And once it was a little bit firm, I scooped out 9 pieces and divide them into 1 tablespoon each and just scooping it out with the spoon. I'm just gonna cover this and freeze this until it's firm again. Almost always I use Red Star Active Dry Yeast. I'm just adding 3 teaspoons of yeast into a large bowl and a handful of the flour just to feed the yeast, and some of the water until I could dissolve this. Whisk this together until it's dissolved. Add in 2 tablespoons of oil, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Whisk this together well. Dump in the rest of the flour, 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder. I'm just mixing it with my hands. Gradually add in the rest of the water while kneading it. You may have to add a little bit more water. Add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt once it starts coming together, and then knead it for 6 minutes. Once the dough is nice and smooth, preferably place it into a clean bowl. Cover the bowl and let it double in size for 1 to 3 hours. Cut out 9 pieces of parchment paper to line our buns. This doesn't have to be perfect. If it's too big or too small, it doesn't really matter. I'm just using a knife to cut this because I'm too lazy to walk into the other room and grab my pair of scissors. Punch down the dough to release the gas in the dough. Remove the dough from the bowl and just knead it for a little bit just to release more gas. I'm dividing the dough up to 260 grams and the other 525 grams because I want the yolk part of the dough to be bigger than the egg whites. Taking the dough and dividing it up into 9 pieces. This is the smaller dough piece, and dividing each piece into 29 grams each. The white dough will be the egg whites portion of the bun, and we're just going to roll one dough out flat and tug onto the edges until we get this egg whites-like appearance, I guess. Lay it on a piece of parchment paper. I'm actually gonna roll the rest of it out before I work on the yellow dough. With the bigger piece, color this in yellow. We're gonna need a lot of food coloring for this. Knead this until the color is incorporated throughout the dough. This is the bigger piece. It weighed out to 525 grams. I'm going to divide this into 9 pieces by rolling it out into a log and just dividing it and eyeballing it. I ended up feeling like the sizes were a bit off, so I ended up weighing these out individually, even though I don't really want to do that. But if I want everything to look coordinated and the same, weighing is a necessity. Shape these into 9 balls. You might have to work with it a little bit very lightly and then just going over again to smooth out again, because those, they kind of don't like being touched for too long, and if it's too hard to work with, just put it down and come back to it later and work on another ball. You need to work pretty quick. Taking a ball, roll it out flat. I ended up rolling up the rest of the balls because of the time constraints, and we don't want the filling to like get warm while we're rolling all this dough. Removing the filling from the freezer, add in the filling, and just wrap and pinch this up until it's nice and sealed, and just flip it over. And just work with it to make it into a smoother ball, bunching it together on the sides. Place the yolk onto the whites. And as always, while working with dough, we want to loosely cover it with saran wrap. Cook this in the steamer for about 15 to 17 minutes. Immediately after it was done, I grabbed my edible marker and drew on the faces. Just some slanted eyes. They're pretty close together. And just a mouth. This is a pretty simple face. I really don't think I need to explain much on it.
Duck eggs are pretty multi-purpose. I guess that's why people put a lot of time into making these for like 30 days and more. It's also an ingredient used for mooncake fillings, but you can eat them plain or with rice. It's actually pretty good. I have had it like that before, and it's also used in desserts. Like that was my toilet making that sound. Make it stop. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any video requests in the future, be sure to ask me down below, and I'll actually read your comments, and most of the time I'll reply to you guys if there's like a question. You can also contact me through my social media sites, and bye!